Hey guys, it's Stephanie. I'm with the For Sure family and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be making some of my personal favorites, ham and turkey sliders and hot spinach dip. These are both really easy dishes to make, especially around this time. You have playoffs and Super Bowl coming up. You want a couple of friends over. These are the quickest and easiest dishes that you can make, and they really come out delicious. So let's not take any more time and let's get into this video. All right, for our ham and turkey sliders, what we're gonna need is we're gonna need biscuits, ham, turkey, Swiss cheese, Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, approximately 6 tablespoons of butter, and poppy seeds. Some other ingredients that you might want to include for a garnish will be parsley. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to slice our biscuits up and then arrange them in the pan with the ham and turkey and cheese, and then we will start to make our sauce. I'm using a knife that has a jagged edge because these biscuits could be rather soft, so sometimes it's hard to cut them. I usually try to cut quite a few at the same time, and I'm just cutting it like so. This knife definitely makes it easier. Some recipes I've read when I've done this, I noticed I read that some people do not cut the bun all the way through. They like to kind of leave it attached at the back. I've tried it both ways. It really doesn't make a difference. I really didn't understand what was the point of that. So in this one, as you can see, I'm not going all the way through, but whatever your preference is. And I do have, if I didn't say it already, I do have 2 types of bun. One is a Hawaiian type, more of a sweeter roll, and then I have a potato one. The potato one is a lot softer, a lot more dense. Either, like this recipe, you can make it with whatever type of rolls your preference is. It does not have to be a certain type. Like I said, I've made this a dozen times, and each time I try something different. All you're gonna do is you want to take your Reynolds wrap, set that aside, and you're going to put your biscuits in here. Just line this up. Get you some cooking spray, some oil. I just use Pam. Like I said, doesn't matter. This is just gonna keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan, and then you want to arrange your buns like so. And then what we're gonna do is just gonna move these back so we can start to arrange our meat. Biscuits are all open, so now we're gonna just take some ham and line each of our biscuits with some ham. Now you might say, hey, these are pretty small slices, but I have tried it with the thick slices, and trust me, once you put all of these in here, because you're gonna have about several, like a couple of layers, about 3 layers, especially with your cheese, it starts to get really thick and hard to pull apart. And what I noticed is when you get them out of the oven, they all come combined together with that cheese. And so some of your sliders may be missing meat because as you're pulling it off. You're pulling some away from the other sandwich. So what I learned was to kind of cut the meat in squares so it kind of won't slide out of the meat or out of the bun. So you can at least have something for each one. Then I go and I take my cheese and I put on top of there. And with this, I cut my cheese too. I mean, you can put a lot on there, but trust and believe this is going to be plenty of meat, and then you can always go back if you felt like you didn't put enough and put extra, put as much meat as you want. But what I'm just saying is just make sure you kind of just put it neatly on each of your buns so it doesn't ooze out, because you know, once that cheese gets to melting, everything's sliding out, but it's oh so good. And I like Swiss cheese. The reason why I like to use Swiss cheese, I'm just gonna add some in some of them since I got some extra ones, is because all of the other seasons, like the Dijon mustard, the Worcestershire sauce, and all of those other things, they're so potent and strong. Cheddar cheese, I just felt like it was just gonna be too much. So that's why I don't use cheddar cheese. I like to use something that's a little less, got a little less tang to it. I just need something that's gonna be cheesy, that's gonna bind it all together, really. That's why I use the Swiss. I don't need anything that's gonna overpower the other flavors. But every single one has a triple layer. It's more than enough. That's good. Make sure you bunch them together so it can get warm. So we're gonna set that aside, and then we're gonna make the sauce that goes over it. And that's what you're looking like. And like I said, for the sauce, we're gonna need our Dijon mustard, poppy seeds, Worcestershire sauce, and of course, about 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna drop all this butter in there and I'm gonna melt it. So I have my butter melted. All we're doing is dropping all the stuff in there. The Dijon mustard, which was approximately 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 2 teaspoons of poppy seeds, and 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. It did also call for minced onions, but honestly, I'm not a fan of it. So, like I said, you can alter this recipe like you want. And as you see, I'm just stirring it up really well. It has a very strong smell. I've also seen recipes where they put a little mayo on their sandwiches. I've seen several different kinds, but you know what? They all taste delicious. So again, it's just your preference. So also while I was melting my butter, I also turned on my stove. You want to set your oven to 350, and once you finish pouring your sauce over your biscuits, you're gonna put those in the oven. So you wanna evenly pour this on. Just make sure you get it evenly on every one. As you see, the butter starts to, I still have quite a bit, so I'm just gonna rub it. And the butter is on the bottom, so don't feel like you didn't get enough, because as you see, when I'm rubbing it, it's coating every single one, and this just smells so good. That butter will disperse at the bottom, trust and believe. You're gonna get some. And then, to finish this off, almost out of my unit full, I'm gonna cover this up really tightly. And we're gonna put this in the oven for approximately 20 minutes. And then you're gonna take it off. Once it's been done in the oven for 20 minutes, you're gonna take it off and let it stay in the oven for another 3 to 5 minutes, just so it can get a little brown on the top. And then once we put this in the oven, we'll start our spinach dip. We have all the ingredients we need for spinach dip. And I promise you, you probably have them all too already in your refrigerator or cabinets. That's how easy spinach dip is to make. First, you're gonna need spinach. You can use fresh or frozen. I prefer frozen. The only thing is that you have to make sure you squeeze out all the water. You're gonna need mozzarella cheese, sour cream, Philadelphia cream cheese, Parmesan cheese, minced garlic, and of course, pepper and salt. The first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure we get all the water out of our spinach. I usually like to do that by opening the top of it and squeezing it in the sink, which I will do off camera. All right, I squeezed as much water out of my spinach And trust and believe, if you have frozen spinach, you're not gonna be able to get all of it. But by doing it this way, I believe I get a lot, you know, as much water as possible out of it. So I usually try to just keep it in the bag, let it thaw out, and squeeze it. Next, we're going to get our cheeses out the way. You're gonna have, well, let's do our Philadelphia cream cheese. And this recipe calls for approximately, I always use about a bag of spinach, which is 12 ounces. I believe this recipe calls for 10 ounces. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Like I say, a lot of times I will eyeball something. I've been making this recipe for so long. A bag of spinach is not gonna make a difference. I do use 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, which is what it calls for. Want to make sure this is softened. And then you have your Parmesan cheese, which is about, let's see, it's about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Just taking all this stuff off. I have my measuring cups with me. Isn't that neat? I have all of them. I just usually, when I'm cooking, I just usually pull them out. So you're gonna have a half a cup. And then you can just shake it in there. Hey, if some fall in there, that's just gonna make it all the better. Pour that in there, set that to the side. And then you need 1 cup of sour cream. Now this is about 8 ounces. It's about a cup I'm wasting. I'm going to get me a spoon, get me a fork, dump this in there. There you go. And for your mozzarella, you're gonna need 1 1/2 cup. This calls for a lot more mozzarella. And I'm gonna add more cheese anyway. I'm not gonna even tell you I'm not, because I am a cheese lover, and to me you can't hurt it if you put more in there. So yes, a little bit more, shook off on that. Like I said, I've been making this recipe for so long. And then you have you want 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and it looks like I do not have my teaspoon over here, so I'm only going to take a little bit of that because this is strong. This is what makes it, gives it that flavor. Sometimes if you put too much garlic, it will overpower it. You just need about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna pour some in here in my hand. You don't need a lot. I'm trying to stay away from all the salt, to be honest. And then I'm going to just put my little pepper, crack it in there. The same, it's 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Nothing big. I'm gonna take a fork and smash all this together. Definitely want to make sure your Philadelphia cream cheese is softened so it's not hard for you to stir. I usually set it aside, especially if I know that I'm making this, and just get it all in there. It smells really good. That garlic really gives you the flavor that you need. All these cheeses, you can't go wrong. It's not watered down. I know some people do not like to use that frozen, but I tell you, if you smash all that water, you know, squeeze it while it's still in the pocket, you're gonna get most of that water out. So then we have it all stirred up. Hope you can see that. Sorry about my salt being in the way. I'm gonna get a prettier bowl, because I don't want all that cheese to burn on the side. And I'm gonna dump it in here. Cook this about 350, along with the sandwiches, the sliders that you put in the oven. all that in there. When it comes out, and then you want to top it with some more cheese. You definitely do. So it can have a little top to it. I'm gonna get all of this off here. So I'm gonna use another, sorry. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit more on top. Just a little. Just a lot. I'm a cheese lover. I'm not gonna say I'm not. Hey, we got a bacon lover in the family and we got a cheese lover. Put both of those together. We got something good. I'm just gonna cover this. I'm gonna put it in the oven for approximately 20 minutes along with my sliders at 350, and then we're gonna come back and check them out. All right, the finished product: spinach dip, ham, and turkey sliders. I just added it to a tray with some tortilla chips, crackers, and some little bagels. That's really good. It has a flavor of Parmesan garlic. Really good for dipping with the spinach dip. Like I said, this is my all-time favorite. I rearranged it off camera because just wanted to see what I had. You know, these are things, like I said, all of this stuff I had in the cabinets. I didn't even have to go out and buy extra, maybe a little bit of cheese, but all of this stuff I had game day. It is absolutely delicious. Just to be able to get some finger foods, have a couple of people over, and to be able to make something very quick and easy. Spinach dip, ham and turkey sliders. I hope you liked it.
This is a warm welcome from the bottom of our hearts from the Foreshore Family channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Until next time, see ya.